Hello, Adam here. Thanks for joining me again. Today I've got a landscape scene that uses just a few colors, okay? It's got some blue, some black, some yellow ochre, some brown, and a little white in it. But other than that, it really is a limited palette scene. There could be times where you either run out of paint or maybe you just want to do kind of a muted scene or something like that. So today I thought I'd show you how to do that. So without further ado, let's get to the video. Enjoy. So I've got my standard 16 by 20 canvas already covered in a thin coat of liquid white. If you want to see how I put on the liquid white, I've got a video just for that. Okay, so I'm going to reach down here and grab my palette knife. And today I'm going to start a little different. I'm going to start by mixing up just a little bit of a subdued sky color. So I'll grab some Prussian blue and a little bit of black. All right, it's ivory black, but whatever black you may have should work just fine. Okay. And you might ask me today, why am I doing this sort of painting? You know, the one that you saw in the thumbnail. And I'm going to pass on a little wisdom that, you know, my dad liked to provide to us growing up. Really, I'm doing this all on account of the cause. And if you're wondering what that means, I'm 45 now, and I'm still wondering myself. So there you have it. No, in all seriousness, you know, a painting like this, it may depend on your mood, or maybe you just want to do an overcast type of day, and that's kind of what we got going on here. So we'll start up in the corner and move to the other corner. I'm going to try to keep it relatively dark in the corners and just move across here, kind of bringing it down, kind of in a circle shape here. All right, and let me get a little more. Maybe I'll touch just a little more blue for this. And I'll come down and lay in what will be some water later. Just quickly. Don't need to spend a whole lot of time on that. All right, I'm going to put this brush down, grab a dry brush, go over this gently. Just going straight across, straight across. There we go. And now I'll come up to the sky. I'm just going to start somewhere right in the center here. Just start to bring some of this down. Just using some X strokes or crisscross strokes, but bring some of the color down. Might have to come up and grab some of the color. There we go. Not too worried about over here. That'll get covered up. This will get covered up. So really here in the center is where we want to focus on blending. Okay, and once we've got it about the way we want it, I'm just going to come up here. All right, got a loose hair there. I'll just pull it off. I'm going to take some of this color and just kind of drag it over. Just kind of make it look like a few diagonal clouds coming out there. Okay. And unlike some other videos I've done, the angles on the sky and in this painting in general is kind of important today. So if you try this painting, try to follow along using the angles that I'm using. Okay. There we go. And I'll pick up a 1-inch brush now. Okay, today I'm basically just using a 2-inch brush, a 1-inch brush, and a palette knife, and not much more than that. But I'm just going to get some of that same color I've been using. Not too worried about this mix particularly. Just a little bit of that blue, little black is in there, and just getting a little bit on here. Just a little. Okay. I'm going to come right over here. It's just a little below center, something like that. And right over here, I know I'm going to have some trees. So this is where I'm going to start. All right, in case it's a little too thick or something like that, I'm going to cover that up later. So once it gets to the consistency that I like, then I'm going to bring it over where I know it'll be seen in the picture. And that's about what I got right now. Very nice, light, distant looking trees. That's what I want for this scene. I'm just barely touching and pulling off. Straight in, straight out. Okay, and I really like the the regular 1-inch brush for this today, okay? All right, you can check these brushes out at my collection, okay? But any 1-inch brush, but versus the oval brush, I like this. I think it leaves the tops of the trees just a little bit more realistic for this painting. Okay, and we'll just bring this all the way over. Again, over in here, largely, it'll be covered up, but we'll bring it over. Okay. Now, if you want to make these trees even lighter, what you can do is kind of wipe that out a little bit. And just go over it again. All right, and you see the tops are becoming even lighter. Even lighter. Pushing these trees even more and more into the distance. But I think I kind of like what I got going on there, and I'll go ahead and stop right there. Okay, I'll reach over here and grab a liner brush, just quick, and just get some of this dark color. And I'll just come back up here to this little tree line we just made, and I'll just put some really faint little trunks. And actually, I like to, when I do this, I try to make them as light as I can. If there are times where nothing even comes off the brush, I'm okay with that. I'll just keep on doing this until they start to show through. And then if they come through a little too thick on a few of them, I'd rather it happen that way, because then I can just go back through with my brush and just soften them up. But I just need a few. Don't need too many. Not for this today. Okay, I'm going to go back to my large brush. This is the one that I used to put on all the color. I'm just going to start to draw in kind of the angle of the land. Okay, I'm really just sketching right now. Just kind of all the way across. Okay, remember the angles will be kind of important today. Well, you could almost just continue on with the winter scene here if you wanted to. But this won't be a winter scene today. Just sketching in the angles. Okay. And while I'm doing that, I'll just take a little bit of this dark color. Do a little bit of brown, a little bit of black. Just get some of this in here. Just for some undertones for later. Okay. Just something about like this. Just for now. All right, let me set that down, grab my small brush again, get some more of this dark color, blue, little black. Probably mostly black at this point. Let's just make some darker bushes over these lighter trees here. There we go. Start to build a few layers. Keeping these nice and dark. And we'll come back later and put some color on top of these bushes, but not yet. All right, there's going to be a lot of just kind of getting some background color in here in this painting before we put our highlights on. So just be patient with it. It's another way to do a painting. It might work really well for some folks. Okay, there we go. I'll go back to my large 2-inch brush and do the same thing. Just get some darker colors here. All right, some black, some brown, and right over here. We'll just keep it really dark down in here. Okay. And we'll just bring this on up. End up having a couple trees over here. These will be the background leaves. Okay. All right. I'll reach over here and grab my palette knife, and let me just grab some yellow ochre. All right. Get some of this Prussian blue, and just make a little mix right here. Kind of a little green color. All right. We'll see what that looks like. We can always change it some if we don't like it, but I'm just going to grab that same old dirty brush, and we'll start to make some land now underneath these bushes and trees. I'm just going to just tap over here. And this is still more of an undertone color than it is the primary color. I'm going to come back through with some yellow ochre and some white. Highlight the lay of the land here in a little bit. But right now I'm just using this as an undertone, just to still really kind of sketch this out, so I can see where I need to make my bank here in a minute. There we go. And over in here as well. Kind of following the same angle here, that it's kind of running down this whole way. We'll just call it somewhere in there for now. All right. I'll reach back over, grab my palette knife, get some Van Dyke Brown, and we'll build a couple banks. One on this side over here. Keep it pretty thin back there. Just kind of pulling down at an angle. All right. Let it get thicker as it comes towards you. Probably only really need to go to about there. I'm going to have some more stuff right in here. So somewhere right in there. And then over here, we'll just go the opposite way. Pulling it towards me. All right. I'm just going to keep that paint on the end of it and grab some white. Maybe a little bit of yellow ochre. Make a little highlight color. Okay. Take a look at that. I might have to lighten that up some. But keep it pretty dark back here. There we go. Just very, very, very gentle. Just pull down. Very gentle. Barely, barely holding this knife. Okay. Same thing over here. Want to keep some of the dark spots and let some of the paint come out for the lighter spots. Easy to come back and change it if you want to. All right, I'm going to take my large 2-inch brush, the one that had the least paint on it so far, the one I basically just kind of blended down here. I'm going to come up and grab just the bottom of this, just a little. Start to build some reflections. Okay, and it doesn't matter how I hold the brush. All right, even if I got to get it like this, I still pull the brush straight down. Or I try to anyways. Straight down. There we go. And let's see, I'll go this way. Go across. Just a gentle touch here. Same thing on this side. Just a little. Few reflections. Grab my palette knife. Get a little bit of titanium white. Some people like to use liquid white. I'm more of a fan of titanium white for this. A little bit of a thicker paint. All right. I just kind of keep it horizontal and put a few marks in here. And when I get down into here, I like to maybe make it a little bit thicker. Kind of bring it down like that. Again, this will start to get covered up, so I don't need too much. Same thing over here. Just bring out a couple lines. Get some more paint. Okay. And for this one, wasn't thoroughly happy with that. I'm going to take a clean brush. You can use any clean brush. Just kind of wipe over that. There we go. I like that look a little better. Okay, I'm going to reach over here and grab a small fan brush. I'll use this here in a little bit when we make a trail right here. So I'll go ahead and get it a little bit dirty. Now I'm going to take this line and just pull it back. We'll come back over and put some highlights on this grass in a little bit. And when we do that, we'll cover this up. And to me, it'll give it kind of a natural blending, kind of from the rock ledge there to the grass when we pull it back like that. Do the same thing over here. Just kind of pull that dirt back. Okay. There we go. Get rid of that harsh line. All right, let me reach down and grab my 2-inch brush. And I'm just going to get some more of this dark color. And what we're about to do here is some more background tree color. All right, so let's just say, I don't know, right in here. We'll bring this up and we'll start to turn this for some leaves right in here. We'll come back over with some yellow ochre here in a little bit, but right now we'll just get some color in here. Some bushes and stuff in here. Be down into there, something like that. And just get some paint in here. Just a little color. Cover up the water. And maybe I'll take a touch more black here and just darken this a little. There we go. That'll be better later on. Some of these darker looking bushes. Okay, let me grab that fan brush. Some Van Dyke Brown. How about right over here? Start to build a little trail that comes out. Kind of winds around there and comes down through here. Can't see it really good just yet, but we'll highlight it here in a second. Let's have a trail that comes out right there. All right, that's how all those hikers get back there. Enjoy this, all this nature and beauty of the wilderness. Let's grab a little titanium white. I'm just going to use that same old dirty brush. And just highlight this a little. May do some more work on it later. We got a lot of bushes to do and things, but we'll get it going. Maybe it'll turn out good just with this. Never really know. Got to be flexible with this. Okay, we're going to start to work with a little bit of yellow ochre. Now I'm going to grab my cleaner 2-inch brush and I'm just going to go right into a little bit of yellow ochre. Both sides, just to kind of cover up the paint that was on there. And let's just take a look at this. Let's come back here. Just touch, just gently. Putting a nice little shine on top of that undercolor that was there. All right, really, when you look at nature, you know, we see a lot of the foliage and we call it green. And there's a lot of green in there, but there's also a lot of this color in there. It really is. There's a lot of yellow ochre in nature. That was one of the reasons I wanted to work with this today. All right. Bring it over the edge there. Make sure I come up all the way to the edge here as well. Okay. May come back and put some more on that later. But for now, I think that's all right. I'm going to set that down and grab my 1-inch brush. We're going to keep on working. Let's go right into some ochre. yellow ochre. I'm just tapping straight in. All right. I can kind of look right there. That's kind of the look that I'm going to want when I highlight these bushes. So right over here, did these bushes quite a while ago, and now we're going to bring them to life a little bit. Okay. These will be in the background, so they don't need to stand out too much, but we'll give them a little bit of a highlight. There we go. With them a little bit brighter right here. Okay, with this painting today, there's really no sun that you can see, but you can tell right here in the center is the light source. Okay, so right here would be a little bit brighter. Over here would be a little bit brighter. Okay, and I'll keep on working. Kind of highlight the tops of these bushes over here. Just touching gently, making sure I got a decent amount of paint on the bristles. There we go. All right. Yeah, something like that don't look too bad. Sometimes I like to go back with my fan brush and just kind of make it obvious. Some dirt kind of comes up in front of some bushes in some spots. Okay. All right, we've got quite a ways to go here. I'm going to grab my liner brush and just get some of this dark paint right here, and let's go right over here and just put in a couple branches. All right, maybe some background branches over there, and we'll have a little tree sticking up here. Decent sized tree there. Okay. And we'll have even bigger tree that kind of just comes out from here. There we go. And you could probably use a bigger brush than a liner brush, but you know, this is kind of what I had today, so this is what I'll work with. All right. Get a little darker here on the back side. Come to this other side. Start right over here, and the tree that goes up this way, and maybe one that goes over there, and then from here we'll just put in a few branches. And then a few more little trees. Go back to my palette knife, put some highlight on these trees. So let me just see if I got enough of this color right here. Mix a little white in there. We'll try that. And for this, I just want to just kind of touch in all kinds of spots on this tree. There we go. We'll come back and give it some leaves here in a little bit, and maybe back here we see a little bit on this one, but probably not too much. Let's come to this side over here. Same thing. We just want to pull over and pull off. All right, we'll cover this up with some leaves here in a minute. But just pulling over and pulling off quick gives a nice bark texture. Okay, that's all we need there. We'll go back to our 1-inch brush using the ochre. Dull this down just a little bit back here. All right, and put some highlights on this tree. There we go. Looks like I'm being very random, but I'm really not. So like right here where this forks out. Same thing over here. I'll put some leaves, then maybe a little bit above it, and then let some of the bark show through. So there's a little intentionality here. It's not all random. Put some color down here in the bushes. Okay. There we go. That looks pretty good. And we'll come back to this side over here. I'm just going pure yellow ochre here. All right, I'm going to let this stand out pretty good up there. See that? Stands out pretty nicely. Okay. And I'm just tapping and pulling off. That's all we're doing here. That yellow ochre is just a really, really nice color. A few more leaves right here. I might even brighten that up just a little bit. Okay. We still need to make a big old tree. So let's grab that 2-inch brush and some dark color here, and right over in here. All right, let's just get kind of silly with it. And right here, just cover up half our painting. We'll just say this is like a, I don't know, I guess a big cedar tree. Something like that. But I just kind of work my way up and then turn. Let it hang over. There we go. See all the branches that kind of come out. We're going to go all the way up. You're not even going to be able to see the top of this tree here. All right. There we go. Want to leave some space here. That's a nice effect in this painting. And then you got to kind of come down and just kind of take a look at the land here, which we'll have to rebuild it. And that's okay. We can do that. Well, that's a big old tree. It's a big old tree that I like. All right, let me grab my palette knife and get some brown and just kind of rebuild this land. No big deal. I'll even let that protrude out a little more right there. Okay. Get a little highlight color. There we go. I'm going to grab a clean brush. I do have another clean brush here, so. And bring some of this into the water for reflections. All right. And of course, we'll have to go back with our knife, get a little bit of white here, and bring out some ripples. There we go. Leave that about like that for now. We can come back and work on that more later if we need to. But I gotta move on. Gotta move on. Let me grab my big brush here. Look right here. Instead of that being just purely tree, we'll make a little land right here. Now you can just change that. So now I got a little bit of land under that tree right there. There we go. Just kind of work with the angles a second. It'd be nice and dark right there, so that works out. And got light coming through here, it'd be a little lighter there. Just need to kind of mask the edge of the bank there. Just mask it just a little bit. There we go. And let me go back to that big brush, and it's got some dark paint on it. I can just put in some grass right there. A little bit under the tree. There we go. Let's go back to our 1-inch brush and let's get some yellow ochre. Okay, and really working this side over here. That's where we're going to focus. Going to hit these branches. We'll let it be a little darker there in the bottom. We'll kind of work it to the center here. Have a little bit over here, but really, that being dark is a very nice effect in this painting. Just letting that stay dark over there. Have to have a little bit more to the center. There we go. Very nice. Okay. I'll go back to my big brush one more time, and let's see, I'll get some yellow ochre, but I'm going to get some white. Let's just put a little bit more of a shine right in here. Right here where that light comes from. I just think that looks good in this painting. Kind of sets it off just kind of one last time. Might be a little bit shining back in there. Okay. Grab my liner brush, and we might have a stick or two sticking up. Twig over here, there could be little ones sticking out there. Probably don't need to overdo these little twigs. There could be some things coming out of the bushes here. Okay, and I guess before we go, we better put a little reflection of this tree. That's a pretty big tree. We'll go ahead and reflect that down into the water here. There we go. Get some of that. There'd be a little bit of ochre in there. And I'll just take my mop brush and just gently just go over that. Not going to worry about that too much. Maybe that reflection will be a little bigger than that. But, for today, I think we're going to be satisfied with this painting. I think you probably saw a lot of good techniques. Well, hopefully you did anyway. Some techniques that you can put in your toolkit and apply to your paintings, and really just enjoy this technique. Okay, with that, I think we're going to call this painting complete. I really hope you enjoyed this painting today. I hope you'll give it a try. Don't forget to check out the links to my brushes in the description to the video. Until next time, be blessed, and remember, if I can paint, you can too. See you next time.